Right. So yesterday we have discussed the difference between the current system and what ANA system. Okay, the main purpose of what Abap ANA consultant is what? To push the business logic to what? ANA database so that the business logic gets executed in the ANA database, which will make use of the features of what? ANA database, which will improve the performance of our applications. Okay, and we understood this part. So in the current system, what we are going to do in the traditional approach, this approach we call it as what? Data to code approach. Okay, so in this we are pulling the data into from the database to what? Application server, and the entire processing we are going to do it in what? Application server. Okay, but whereas in case of ANA database, what you are going to do, we are going to push your code, you are going to push your business logic to what? ANA database. So what are the calculations are there? Those calculations will be performed at what? ANA database level itself, and the required result will be written to what? Application server. So application server is only responsible for receiving the result from what? ANA database, so that it can display it to the user. In case of traditional approach, the application server is responsible for what? Doing the calculations also. All kinds of processing is done at what? Application server itself. So if you execute everything in the ANA database, means will it increase the load? No, we need not worry about the load on database server. It is taken care by what? ANA database itself. It has got many features. Because of that features, the performance will be what? Improved. There will be no load on what? On our database server. So just to show you that, what I'll do is I'll take a very simple example. Okay, in that example, I'll try to write this data to code approach and what? Code to data approach. So how do we implement this code to data approach? There are many techniques. We use advanced SQL, which is supported on the ANA database. Okay, we use the ALV IDS, we use something called as AMDPs, we use something called as CDS views. So by using all these concepts, we can implement the feature of what? Code to data approach. So first what I'll do is I'll write a very simple select query which has to fetch the data from one of the table, and I need to do some simple calculation and display that result to the user. So first I'll do it in what? Data to code approach. So in this data to code approach, what we are going to do? We are going to pull the data from what? ANA database to what? Our application server. So let me do it in a normal ECC system first. Then I'll try to do the same thing in what? ANA database. Once again, let me connect. So you can observe here, this is a normal ECC system, ECC EHP5. Okay, I'm connecting to that. Done. So if you observe the database here, I'll go to system menu, status. Yeah, what is the database here? MS SQL. Okay, it is other than what? ANA database. It can be Oracle, it can be MS SQL, whatever it is, but other than ANA database. So what is my requirement here? I just want to develop a simple code which has to pull the data from what? One of the table. So if I take a table, I'll go to Abap dictionary. I'll take a table like VBAP. Okay, so in this VBAP table, I want to what? Retrieve what? Sales document item number, what else? Material number, and we know we have one of the column, net price. Yeah, net price. Okay, so I want to retrieve these four columns. What are the four columns? Sales document item number, material number, and what net price. So apart from these four columns, I want to retrieve one more column, and that column is what calculated column. Okay, the column is what calculated column means I want the gross amount. So what is the formula for gross amount in my case? It should be net price plus 100. Okay, net price plus 100. So if you see, do we have the data in this table? Yeah, we have 16,591 records. Fine. So my requirement is the database table is what VBAP. Okay. What are the fields I want to retrieve? Fields to be retrieved is I want to retrieve Weblen, then item number, sales document item number. Let us retrieve what material number, and I'll retrieve another field like what net price. So these are what columns, four columns, and another column I want assume that the column name is what gross. So this gross is what calculated column. Calculated column means this column is not existing physically in the table. Okay, whereas these four fields, Weblen, sales document, item number, material number, net price are what database table fields, but this should be what calculated column. So what is the formula for the gross? Gross should be what net price plus 100. This is my formula. Okay, so in the report, the result, the output should show what how many columns. Output to be displayed what output to be displayed with five columns, with five columns. What are they? Weblen, item number, material number, net price, and what else? Gross. So how do we do it in a traditional system? This is the overall requirement. So I want a report. I want a report which has to show what five columns. Okay, in that five columns, one of the column is what calculated column means the formula for that calculated column should be what the current net price plus 100 rupees, something like that. Okay. So how do we do it in a normal normal SQL in normal traditional approach? First of all, you will declare the internal table. So assume that I want to retrieve the data. Okay, I want to retrieve the data for some of the sales documents. Like let me go to this. Do we have 4980? Yeah, we have 4980. Done. We have 4980 is there. 4981 is there. Let me check. Okay, 4981 is not there, and 4982. Yeah, 49. So 4980 has got four items. 4982 has got what? Four items. 81 doesn't have any items. Fine. So I want to get the data for this particular two sales document where we have the data. So first, what I'll do, let me just create an executable program. So what we are trying to understand, data to code approach and code to data approach. So first I'm doing the normal way, data to code approach. Yeah. And let me do it in the same example. Data to code versus code to data. Okay, so type of program as usual what executable program. I'll save it in the local object. So first what I'll do, I want to retrieve four database columns. So let me declare one internal table. So what is the standard way? You'll create the types declaration, all those things. One second. Yeah. So here data to code approach. So first I'll declare a internal table. So types begin of ty underscore something. Ty underscore. Let me give it as what VBAP. What are the four columns I want to retrieve from the table? Weblen type VBAP hyphen Weblen. Then I'll declare another column item number. POSNR type VBAP hyphen POSNR. Then let me take another column material number type VBAP hyphen material number. Next what net price? Yeah, net price type VBAP hyphen net price. So these are my four database columns, end of ty underscore VBAP. Yeah, based on this, what I'll do, I'll declare one internal table and work area. So T underscore VBAP type table of TY underscore VBAP. It is an internal table without header. So obviously I require an explicit work area. So I'm declaring a work area type TY underscore VB. So this is understood. But what is the result I want here? I want to show the output with how many columns? 5 columns. But my internal table is having only what? 4 columns. So what I'll do, let me declare one more internal table with what? 5 columns. So here, yeah, let me give the internal table name as something, the structure name is ty underscore final. Yeah, what is the additional column you want? Let me give the column name as something gross type. This also I'll take it as what? Net price only. VBAP hyphen net price end of ty underscore what? Final. Done. Then based on this, I'll declare an internal table and work area T underscore final, W underscore final, done, final, and TY underscore final. So I declare 2 internal tables. Now what I need to do, I need to write the select query to fetch the data from my database table. So how do we do it here? Select what are the columns you want to retrieve? Weblen, item number, material number, net price. Okay, from which table? VBAP table into table. What is my source internal table here? T underscore VBAP, where I want to retrieve the data for only what? Some 3 sales documents. I know that particular sales document, or else you generate a selection skin for reading the user input. So that is not our agenda here. So let me give the sales document, which is character of 10 now. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4980. 4981 and 4982. So directly I'm hard coding the sales document, no problem. Done. So this is the data I want to retrieve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Done. Yeah, Rambabu, you have any questions? All right, okay. Right. So I'm writing the select query here. Then let me check for the size of RC. If size of RC is equal to 0, so what is the meaning? The select query is what successfully executed. Select query is successfully executed. So if size of RC is equal to 0, let me just loop it and display. Yeah, loop at T underscore VBAP into W underscore VBAP, done, end loop, end it. So here, what is the requirement here? I need to display one additional calculated column. What is it? Gross. What is the formula I want for the gross? Net price plus some 100. Okay. So keeping that requirement in mind, I am looping each record into this work area. Now inside this, what I'll do, what is the other work area declare? W underscore final. So I'll say clear W underscore final. Try to understand the logic. So I need to assign the data. No? So since the column names are same, I'll try to use move corresponding. Generally, move corresponding we don't use. We'll do the assignment manually. But in this case, I'm sure that the column names and the data types are same. That's the reason I'm using the move corresponding. Move corresponding W underscore VBAP to T and sorry. Move corresponding W underscore VBAP to W underscore final. Then I'll say append W underscore final to what? T underscore final. So whatever the data is there in my source internal table, I am moving that data. Okay, I'm moving that data to what? Final internal table. So before I append here I'll say W underscore final hyphen. What is the additional column I declared here? Gross. 1 second. Oh my God, shut. 1 second, got disconnected. Is it saved or not? sorry, it's not saved, so I'll quickly do it again. Types begin of, what is that, ty underscore vbap. I'll declare some fields, weblen type vbap hyphen weblen. What else? POSNR type vbap hyphen POSNR. Then material number type vbap hyphen material number. Then what is the other column you want? Net price. Net price type vbap hyphen net price. Then I'll close this. End of what? ty underscore vbap. So this is my types declaration. Based on this, I'll declare an internal table. Type table of ty underscore vbap, w underscore vbap type ty underscore vbap. Done. Okay, so I declared an internal table and what? Work area based on the types declaration. Then based on the same types declaration, I'll create one more types declaration. Let me give the name of this as what? Final. What is the additional column I want? Gross. So I'll declare one additional non-database column, non-database column, type VBAP hyphen, same reference, net price. Done. Ty underscore final. Yeah, so here I'll say T underscore final, type Ty underscore final. Then here also same thing. So I declare two internal tables. The source internal is having 4 columns. The other internal is having what? Some 5 columns. Done. So let me write the select query here. What is that? Select weblen, item number, material number, net price. Sorry, net price. No? NETPR. Done. From VBAP into table T underscore VBAP. Okay, then I want to get the data for a specific sales document. So since it is specific sales document number, I'll directly hard code 4981 4982. Done. Then immediately after this, if size of bars is equal to 0, I will just loop this internal table. Loop at T underscore VBAP into work area W underscore VBAP. I'll try to copy this data to what? The other internal table. So I'm clearing that target work area. Then I'll use this move corresponding W underscore VBAP to W underscore final. So what is the concept of move corresponding? It will copy the data by comparing the field names. If any matching field names are there, it is going to copy. So in the final internal table, I'm having an additional column, what? Gross. Okay, so I'll write the logic for that. So W underscore final hyphen gross is equal to, what is the formula I want? The current price, the net price hyphen some value like 100. Done. Then I'll say append W underscore final to T underscore final. Okay, then I'll say end loop end if. Okay, right now I need to display it to the user now. So what I'll do, if what is the final internal table? T underscore final. If T underscore final is not initial, so I'm writing a general logic. Loop at T underscore final into W underscore final. Done. I'll say write W underscore final hyphen. What are the columns? So weblen, item number, material number, net price, and what? Gross amount. So here I'll just try to give some color just to differentiate that column. End loop, else I'll just give a message no data. And so let me save it, check for the syntax, no errors. So I wrote a simple what Abap code where I declare two internal tables. The first one is having 4 columns, the second internal has got 5 columns, the fifth column is what? Non-database column. Why I'm calling it a non-database column? I am not fetching the data for that column from the database. I am getting the data only for the 4 columns. So the data is retrieved into the source internal table. We are looping that source internal table. Inside that loop and loop, I wrote some business logic to construct the data for what? The additional column what? Gross. And I'm adding those all the records to what? A final internal table. Later on, I'm just looping it and displaying. So when I execute this, okay, so I got the data. I got that 4 columns plus the calculated column. What is the 2820 is actual data plus 100 is status. I got 2920. So this is fine. This is known thing to us. So this approach we call it as what? Data to code approach. Means we are going to pull. So when you execute this, what happens internally? The select statement will be executed. The select statement will be sent from what? Application server to what? Database server. It will pull this data into what? The internal table what? T underscore VBAP. So the entire data will be stored in what? T underscore VBAP. Where this internal table will exist? It will exist in what? Application server. And this logic is executed in what? Application server. What is that logic? We are looping that internal table. As part of that loop and loop, we are constructing the data for what? The additional column cross, and later on we are appending it to a final internal table. So this business logic gets executed in what? Application server. Okay, so what is happening here? The load is on database server. The load is on what? Network layer, because you have to transfer the data from what? The database layer to what? Application server. And the load is also on what? Application server, because the processing is taking place at what? Application server level. Now what I want to implement what? Code to data approach. So this is data to code approach. Now let us go for what? Code to data approach. So let me comment here. I'll do it here only. Here, code to data approach. So how do we implement this code to data approach in our Hana? Okay, it can be done in multiple ways. Some of the ways are what? By using advanced SQL statements, by using something called as AMDPs, by using ALV IDA. If you want to go for a ALV report, I can go for ALV IDA, or you can go for what? AMDPs, CDS views, all those things. Okay, so the same, I commented everything here. So what is the requirement here? At the end, the output should show how many columns? 5 columns. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll write select. I'm directly writing the select statement. I have not declared any internal table. I have not declared any work area kind of thing. Yeah, okay. So here I'll say select. What are the columns? Weblen. Try to understand. I'll say comma PYSNR. Okay, I want to give the alias name for this column heading. So I'll just give item number. Okay, then I want what? Material number. Here also, if you want, you can give it. Weblen as what? Sales document. Okay, the column name alias I'm giving to the sales document. Okay, select Weblen as sales document. PYSNR as what? Item number. Next what? Material number, comma. What else I want? Net price. No? So just for increasing the readability, I'll give space. Material number. What else? Net price I want, comma. What is the other column I want? Calculated column. So in the select query only, I'll say net price plus what? 100. Net price plus 100. Done. What is the column heading you want to give for this? As what? Gross amount. As gross amount into table. Okay, into table. So I don't have any internal table declaration here. Okay, so I'll go for something called as inline declaration. So into table, we'll discuss more about this when you go to the coding part. So into table, I'm going for inline declaration. T underscore what? VBAP from what is the database table? No, that's what I'm trying to show, Sandeep. This is not HANA database. So let's see whether it works or not. The above approach is working fine. Data to code approach is working fine. Now I'm trying to implement this code to data approach in what database? What is this database? MS SQL. So I want to just check whether it is accepting or not, working or not. If it is not working, then I'll go to what other system which contains what HANA database. Okay, from VBAP. Okay, from VBAP. Then what? Where weblen in. What is that? Yeah, so I'll give the same this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 4980. 4981. 4982. 4982. Done. Okay, then I'll say if size of bars is equal to 0, I need to what? Loop the internal table and just display it. So when you're looping the internal table, I require a work area. No? So let me quickly declare a work area data w underscore vbap like line of t underscore vbap. So I just declared a work area. Let me loop it. Loop at t underscore vbap into what is the work area declared? W underscore vbap right w underscore vbap hyphen. What is the alias name I give? Sales document. Sales document. Okay, what else? What is the alias name I give for this? Item number. Item number. So what? It's not compulsory that I have to give the alias name here, column headings, but just I want to show that it supports this also. Item number. What is the next column? Material number. Material number. Okay. Next, what is this? Net price. Net price. Then what else? What is the additional column heading? I give gross amount. So as gross amount. Done. That's all. End loop. Else I'll just give a message. No data. Okay, I'm just giving the color here. So I'm using some advanced SQL statement. So what is that we are doing in the advanced SQL statement here? We are changing the column headings also. Okay, in the database, the column name is Weblen. When I'm retrieving, I'm giving the alias name, alternative name as what? Sales document. Then as part of the select query only, I'm trying to construct one additional column. I'm trying to construct one non-database column based on the existing column. So this is calculated column. So based on this net price, I'm trying to construct a new column. So let me check whether this is supported or not. When I save it, when I do syntax check, good. I got an error, comma without preceding colon after what? Select. Comma without preceding colon after select. So I'm getting an error here. In the select statement itself, I got an error saying that comma without preceding colon after select. So this syntax, it is not supporting here. It is not supporting here. Am I clear? It is not supporting because what is the database in this context? It is what? MS SQL. Now what I'll do, let me connect to a system which is connected to what? HANA database. Okay, so I'll keep this program as it is for my reference. Let me just copy this. Because again, if it is disconnected, again I need to log in. So I'm just copying it in MS Word. Done. Okay, so now what I have to do, let me connect to a system which has got HANA database. Yeah, let me. Done. Okay, so here. Okay, so you can see here, this is S4 HANA system. This is S4 HANA system. Let me provide the credentials. Yeah, so S4 HANA system is obviously the database would be what? HANA database. So here, if I go to system status, yeah, what is the database system here? HDB, HANA database. So let me write the similar example program here. Z code to data, some name I am giving. What is that? Z code to data. Yeah, this is my program name. Data to code versus code to data approach. Type of program is what? Executable program. I'll save it in what? Local object. Done. So let me just copy this. Yeah, I just copied as this. So first what I'll do is I'll just comment this code to data approach. I'll uncomment this data to code approach. Okay, so this is my data to code approach. I'm writing the traditional way. Okay, done, 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 done. Yes. Okay, let me save it. Check for the syntax. Yeah, I got some warning. Just ignore it. This is related to HANA database. We'll discuss that later on when you go to the HANA database programming. So it is giving a warning here. What is the database feature table length max is used here? It's only a warning. I can ignore. Let me activate. Execute this. Yeah, am I getting the data? Yes, might be in this database. I'm having only one line item for 80. 81 also has got only one line item. 82 also has got only one line item. I got this what? 70 plus 100, I 170. I got it. Done. Working fine. So data to code approach is working fine here. Let me comment this part. I'm commenting this part. Let me uncomment what? Code to data approach. Okay, so when I'm trying to do the same thing in our normal ECC, which has got MS SQL as database, it is giving a syntax error. Now let me check it here. So I remember I commented that. I commented the above code. So let me save it, check for the syntax. Yeah, I got some similar warning. It's only a warning, I can ignore. Let me activate, execute this. Did I got the data? Yes, I got the data. Am I clear? So what will happen here? This select query, general behavior of select query is what? It is going to pull the data from what? Database server and returns the data to what? Application server. But whereas here, what happened? This select query will be executed directly in what? HANA database means this column, this calculation, whatever I'm doing, this processing also will be performed where? In the database itself, in the HANA database level itself. And the data, after doing all the processing, the final data will be returned to your what to your application server. In the application server, just we are looping it and we are displaying the data. Am I clear? This is nothing but called as code to data approach. So in the interview point of view, how do we implement the code to data approaches in the HANA database? There are multiple ways. One is advanced SQL, another is by using ALV IDA in case if you are going for ALV reports, by using CDSUs, by using ADBCs, by using AMDPs. All these are what? Code to data approaches only. Okay. Now, as of now, I have developed this in what? GUI. Now, I connected to the HANA database through this SAP GUI. What is the object name? Z code underscore to underscore data. So going forward, we will not have this GUI concept. Try to understand. Whenever you want to do any development, we'll be connecting to that server, SAP server through what? SAP GUI only, na? Right? So now going forward, what happens is everything will do it in what? HANA Studio only. Okay. Acha, where did I save this object? Let me check. Go to. Yeah, local object. I saved it in what? Local object. If you go to attributes, what is this package? Dollar $TMP. What is the object name? Z code underscore to underscore data. So instead of opening this through GUI, let me try to open through HANA Studio. So in this machine, we have the HANA Studio also. Let me try to show you this HANA Studio. Okay, I'm trying to open HANA Studio. So on the desktop, we have the icon SAP HANA Studio. One second, please. Yeah. So why I'm showing this HANA Studio is, as an Abap HANA consultant, all the developments will do it in what? HANA Studio only. All the developments will do it in HANA Studio. So in this HANA Studio, we have something called as perspectives. Perspectives. Okay. What is that perspective? Each perspective will have different look and feel. By using each perspective, we can do different types of developments. Okay, so as I told you yesterday, the summary of that ABAP HANA concepts, like what native HANA development, HANA modeling, AMDPs, all those things. So if you take native HANA development, we can do it in what? HANA development perspective. HANA development perspective. And if you want to do any modeling, I can do it in what? Modular perspective. And if you want to develop any AMDPs, if you want to develop any CDS views, I can do it in what? ADT, nothing but what? ABAP perspective. We have different types of perspective. If you want to debug, you need to open what? Debug perspective. So here I open the HANA Studio. So by default, in this case, which perspective it has opened here on the title bar, you can see it is showing it as what? Abap perspective. Abap perspective. We have how many tabs here? We have one tab, something called as Project Explorer. This is Abap perspective. Then on the what is this? Application toolbar. On the application toolbar right hand corner, you can see we have different types of perspective here. What is this? This is HANA development perspective. This is modular perspective. Okay, again this is what? ABAP perspective. And what is this? A debug perspective. We can also debug in what? This HANA Studio. Okay, like this we have different types. This is administration perspective. Okay, I can do it by clicking on this, or somewhere in the window menu we have what? Perspective, open perspective. You have different types of perspective here. It is showing what? Debug here, but if I click on other, it will show different types of perspectives. ABAP perspective. What else? What else? What else? Java perspective. Okay, what else? Yeah, development perspective, modular perspective. Like this, you have different types of perspective. So my requirement is what here? I have developed some ABAP program using that, but I logged into that SAPC using what? GUI. Okay. Now I want to open the same program here. What is that object name? Z code underscore 2 underscore data. So as of now, I'm in what? ABAP perspective. Suppose assume that you are in development perspective. Let me switch to development perspective. Okay, on the right hand corner, there's a button called as development. I'll just click on this. Yeah, it has opened a development perspective. It has opened the development perspective. So here we have different look and feel. Each perspective will have a different look and feel. So this is, we can use this particular development perspective for doing the native HANA development. Native HANA development. Native HANA development means what? We will directly connect to what? HANA database, and we will design the database. Try to understand the terminology. Native HANA development means we will directly connect to what? HANA database, and we'll start designing the database. Designing the database is nothing but, as part of a database, we'll have different types of objects: tables, views, column views, sequences, synonyms, triggers. Okay, all these things are called as what? Database objects. Okay, so if you take our normal ABAP context, how do we create a table? We will not connect directly to the database server. Na? We'll do it through what? Application server. We use a T code what? SC11, which will open me what? ABAP dictionary. So through that SC11 only, we'll design the objects, we'll activate, then it will go and sit in what? Database. We will not directly connect to what? Database. Everything you'll do it through what? Application server, in a normal traditional approach. In case of ABAP HANA role, one of the ABAP HANA consultant role is what? To do the native HANA development. Try to understand this. One of the role of ABAP HANA consultant is to do the native HANA development. So what is the responsibilities in the native HANA development is we are going to design the database. Means as part of this HANA database, we require different tables, we require views, we require sequences, triggers, synonyms, like that. We have column views, procedures, stored procedures, functions. Okay, so in order to design all those things, I need to directly connect to the database. How do you connect? Let me check whether I can show it now. See here, I'm in the development perspective. We are in systems tab. This is the instance related to my HANA database. I'll just right click on this. I'm not sure whether it is on or not. I'll just let me try it. I'll right click on this. I'll say what log on. So I'm directly trying to connect it to what? The database server itself. I'll click on log on, done. Yeah, you can see here, enter the password to the SAP HANA database user. I'll give the credentials, required credentials. This is your database user. This is your database user. Whatever the login we give in our SAP GUI, it is what? To connect to the application server. I'll click on OK. Good. Yeah, you can see I have successfully connected to what? HANA database. So here we have different folders here. Anyhow, we'll be discussing this from the next session onwards. We have something called as catalog, where you have this package, schemas, everything. Okay. So here you can see you have different things. Okay, let me just show you one thing. 1 second, please. One second. I'm just checking for not there. Okay. Yeah, you can just let me take a random one. We have something called a Surya here. Forget about that. Something called a schema. If I expand this, you can see we have something called as column views, EPM models, functions, indexes, procedures, sequences, synonyms, tables, triggers, views. What we'll do in SC11, we are going to create the database tables, views, type groups, right? Search helps, lock objects, okay, what data elements, domain structures, everything we'll do it using what? That Abap dictionary, SC11. Similarly, native HANA development means we are going to design the HANA database, means we are going to create all these required objects. So once a database is designed, once the database objects are available, I can start consuming that particular database objects from our ABAP layer. Okay, so initially as part of our course, from the next session onwards, most probably we'll be starting with what? Native HANA development. We are going to discuss all these things, how to create procedures, how to consume it from the ABAP layer, how to create the sequence, synonyms, tables, triggers. These are all called as what? Database objects. So here I'm directly connecting to what? HANA database. So what is our requirement? I developed an executable program through the GUI now. I want to open it from HANA Studio. So what I need to do, I need to switch to ABAP perspective. As of now, I'm in what? Development perspective. So let me switch to ABAP perspective. Same on the application toolbar. At the right hand corner, you can see we have ABAP icon here. I'll just click on this. Good. This is your ABAP perspective. Okay. Now what I want here, I need to connect to that application server. How do you connect? We have the instance here. Let me expand this. When I expand this, good. It is asking the credentials here. Earlier credentials is for what? Connecting to the HANA database itself directly. Here we are trying to connect to what? Application server. Application server. So let me try to provide the credentials. Yeah, good. It might have been connected. Now you can see here, if you observe, you can visualize this similar to Object Navigator. We use SC80 now. We use SC80 for checking the objects in your package, for creating the packages. Understood? All those things we use what? SC80. So where did I save it? In the local object. So if I expand this local object, good. You can see it is asking me whether you want to show data dictionary objects or the normal objects. So I'll expand this HANA here. Good. You can see here core data services. Yesterday I told you one of the role of Abap HANA consultant is to develop the CDS views. So to develop the CDS views, I cannot do it by using GUI. I require what? HANA Studio only. Similarly, to develop the AMDPs, we require what? Hana Studio. Okay, so what I am trying to show is I developed a report now. If it is a normal report, yes, I can do it through GUI or I can do it through what? Hana Studio. But there are some developments which can be done only through what? Hana Studio. Like what? AMDPs, CDS views, creating the stored process. Those developments I can do it only through what? Hana Studio. So I'll go to this user Hana. Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, we have what? The source code library. Let me open this, expand this. Good, you can see classes, function groups, includes interfaces, programs. Under programs, okay, it is showing too many programs for me. It is showing too many programs. I am interested in my program. What is my program name? Z code underscore 2 underscore data na. So I can right click. I don't want to develop the new program. No, I want to what? Open the existing program. So if you scroll down, yeah, you can see there are some Z programs also. Okay, might be I develop this in other batches. So what is that object? Just now I developed Z. Okay, I can see Z code underscore 2 underscore data. Okay, so I'll just double click on this. Good. It has opened the same thing now. It has opened the same thing. Okay, so let me make some changes here. So somewhere here, I'll just give a message. See the advantage of this Hana Studio. I'll say at the end I am using some message hello. Let me save it. Check for the syntax error. Activate this. Then it is activated. It is giving me some warning. The same warning which we got in the normal GUI also. Then I'll ignore it. I'll try to execute. So this is my one tab is there. I'll execute this F8. Did I got the data? Yes, good. I got the data. What is the data I got? I got the data retrieved from the database and I got what? Hello. Okay, so you can see it has opened another tab here, another window. I'll go back to the program. Here I'll say write hi. Okay, I'm doing further changes. Save it, check it, activate this. Done. It is activated. Let me try to execute once again. F8. It has opened another instance, another window here. What I got? Hello and I. If you see the earlier one, I have only hello. This is I. Am I clear? So this is the advantage. You can understand the differences. You can understand the difference. But if you execute the same thing in our GUI, what happened? It will open in the same session. It will open. It will display the output. Again, I have to click on the back button to go back to your program code. But whereas here, it is opening the other instances. I'll do one thing. This is my program which I kept it open in what Hana Studio. Now let me go back to my what GUI. So what I'll do is what is the object name Z code underscore 2 underscore data. So here, yeah, and this is my GUI. I'll try to open that SC38. This is the object name Z code underscore 2 underscore data. I'll try to open this in what change mode. Okay, done. It has opened that. If I see here, what is that I got? Write what? I. Now I'll do the changes here. Write. Also welcome, save it, check for the syntax, activate, execute. I got what? Hello and welcome. Okay, in the same instance, I'll go back. Right, so I'll go back to my Hana Studio. Okay, I'll just close this once. Okay, let me close everything. Okay, I'll just refresh. Yeah, it might have refreshed. Let me open that code. What is that? Z code underscore 2 underscore data. Done. What is it here? Hello, I and what? Welcome. So what I'm trying to show here is F8. So what I got here? See, hello, I and what? Welcome. Am I clear? Okay, good. You can see here. Already I kept it open, I think, in GUI. Yeah, I kept it open in GUI in editable mode. In editable mode, I this open in GUI. Now I'm trying to do the changes in my Hana Studio. Okay, it is giving an error. Object could not be logged, reason, so on. So actually it is locked. Okay, that's what is giving the error. I'll do one thing. I'll go back to the GUI. I'll just come out of this. Done. Now I'll try to do it here. Good. Am I clear? So understood. So it is automatically unlocking it. Right. So I got the result. Hello, I welcome back. So what I'm trying to show here is forget our GUI. Going forward, all the Abap HANA developments, not only Abap HANA development, normal Abap developments also, we'll do it through HANA Studio only. Okay, SAP has made it clear that all the developments in the future should be done through what HANA Studio. When that future will come, we don't know. But you should get habituated to what this particular HANA Studio. Not only Excel program, anything you want to develop, function models, classes, everything I can do it using what this one. Okay, suppose here I'll give the T code SC37. It's taking some time.
I hope slash n you have to.
Yeah, Rambabu, what you said? Slash n
Yes.
SC37.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, correct, correct. Okay, so I got
Okay,
that particular.
just
Okay, so I can open any of the T code. I can open any of the T code through this particular HANA Studio. So all the developments we can do it in what this HANA Studio. But there are some developments which can be done only in HANA Studio. Like I told you, AMDPs, CDS views, okay, HANA modeling. Those things I cannot do it through your GUI. Should be done only through what this particular HANA Studio. So what I explained today is the code to data approach. Code to data approach. So what is one of the role of ABAP HANA consultant to do what native HANA? I think it's already there. Let me open it. Yeah, just see this. Yeah, observe here. SAP HANA technical development roles for what? ABAP consultants. Okay, so you're working in a project as what? ABAP HANA consultant. So what kind of developments you are going to do is, one is native HANA development. So just now I told you, one of the role is what? Native HANA development. So what do you mean by native HANA development? Through this HANA Studio, try to understand this diagram. Through this HANA Studio, we will connect to what? HANA database. Okay. Once connected to HANA database, what we are going to do? We are going to create and manage all the database objects like tables, triggers, functions, procedures, indexes, sequences, synonym. All those things are called as database objects. So this is done through what? HANA Studio. I cannot do it using what? GUI. Okay. Similarly, there is another role. This is native HANA development. Then we have something called as Abap HANA development. Abap and HANA development. So don't get confused with these roles. Native HANA development means like this we will do. Abap and HANA development means what? Again, we need to connect to what? HANA database. How do we connect? I can connect it through GUI or I can connect it through what? HANA Studio. If you are connecting through what GUI, okay, from the GUI we'll be connecting to what? Application server. From the application server we'll be connecting to what? HANA database. So here you can see if it is through GUI, if it is through GUI, I can only what? Develop the reports or I can enhance the existing reports using what? Advanced OpenSQL statements. But if you do it using HANA Studio, I can develop the reports, enhance the reports, as well as I can also do what? I can develop the CDS views and what? AMDPs. These CDS views and AMDPs, I cannot do it by using what? GUI. So compulsory I require what? HANA Studio. So what I can say is, as an Abap HANA consultant, you will have two types of roles. One is native HANA development or what? Abap and HANA development. Sometimes what happens, you might be involved in both the activities. Means you will be doing the native HANA development as well as what? Abap and HANA development. Sometimes we may get opportunity to work only as what? Abap and HANA development. So if that is the role, what kind of objects we develop? We develop the reports, or we enhance the reports, or we are going to develop the CDS views, AMDPs. We'll consume that CDS views and AMDPs through what? Abap report. Okay, sometimes your job is only to do what? Native HANA development. Native HANA development what? Something like this. Through HANA Studio, we will be connecting to HANA database and we will design the database. Designing the database is nothing but creating all these particular objects. Okay, so the summary of this slide is, when you're attending the interview, what is your role means, what you have to say is, you worked as what? Native HANA developer, as well as what? Abap and HANA developer. Okay, it can be both or it can be any one of them. Okay, you have to justify.
Yeah, Sridhar, I have a small question.
Yeah, yeah, Rambam, tell me.
Yeah, now they are going to migrate from normal DB to HANA DB. So in that case also we are going to work on CDS views and AMD's views. So these are all
Uh, hmm.
come into the picture.
You're talking
Migration.
about the migration, nah? Yeah, one
Uh,
second. Yeah. So see here, I think this slide will answer your query. So there are two types of implementations here. One is greenfield implementation. Another is what? Sidecar implementation. Okay. So if you take this greenfield implementation, this SAP HANA is what? Primary database. Okay, so if it is
yes.
primary database, we'll do all kinds of development, the CDS views, AMDP. This is a fresh implementation. Now, already the customer is running his business on SAP, but non on a database. It can be Oracle, MS SQL, whatever it is. Okay. Now he has decided to migrate to what? HANA database. So what you are going to do here? See here. Here we are going to data migrated from what? Oracle to HANA database using some SAP what tools? SAP landscape transformation tools. So in this implementation, we call it as a sidecar implementation. So as per my knowledge and experience, in this case, what happens is we'll be more focusing on reports only, enhancing the reports. In the sense, earlier the report which is developed in Oracle, assume that it is taking some 30 minutes of time to give me the result. So what I need to do, I need to convince the customer that if I migrate to HANA database, the same report, we can view the result in what? 2 minutes. So mainly here we are going to develop the reports. We are going to enhance the reports. Okay, we may not be involved in developing the CDS views and what? AMDPs. But if it is a fresh implementation, yes, we are going to do that. Rambabu, is it clear?
Ah, yeah, yeah, fine. That's clear.
That's it. So in this, as per my knowledge, mainly we'll be focusing on enhancing the reports. Enhancing the report, but doesn't mean that you're only going to do the enhancement of the reports. If the customer is okay, we can do the new development directly in HANA database here. I can develop the CDS views. Means assume that earlier we wrote that logic inside a report. Inside a report. Now what I can do, either I can enhance the report, or instead of enhancing the report, what I can do, I can develop an AMDP. I can develop a stored procedure. I can consume that particular stored procedure from the ABAP report. Agenda is what? I need to improve the performance. So I can do it in different ways.
So in that case, we need to use native SQL to improve the report's performance.
Obviously, right? Because when you are developing the report or you're developing the AMDP, I may be requiring some database tables. So I need to use the native SQL for creating those tables, sequences, synonyms. Yes, we'll be using. We'll be using. See, native SQL job is what? Nothing but what? We are going to what? Native HANA development is what? We are going to design the database. Design the database means you have to keep all the objects ready in the HANA database. Then only I can start consuming those things from the report level.
But say, suppose normal DB to HANA DB, they are migrated. So if the report is there is no changes, so will it reduce performance? Will it increase performance? The same report.
Okay. So what you are saying is already you have the report which is executing in non-HANA database. Okay.
Ah,
Now you
yes,
are saying
yes,
that now you are saying that you are migrated to what? HANA database. Okay.
correct.
So
There is no change.
yeah, no, no, correct, correct. But what is the purpose of going to HANA database? To improve the performance, no? Okay. So how do we improve the
Uh,
performance? by pushing your business logic to what? HANA database, right? So in
Yes.
case of non-HANA database, we have written the code in such a way that you are going to pull the data from the database and the entire calculations you are doing in an application server. But when you are moving to the HANA database, the data is migrated. But even the report also should be changed. Now means your logic should be executed in what? HANA database. So compulsorily you will have the report changes also. Uh, is it clear, Rambabu? Just migrating the data is not sufficient. Apart from the migrating the data, we should also make the changes in the report so that our code will be executed in the HANA database. So I need to use these advanced OpenSQL statements, all those things, in order to ensure that the code is executed in the HANA database.
Okay. Okay.
So this data migration, as per my knowledge, we are not going to do. We are not going to do this data migration. It is done by the administrator, but as an ABAP HANA consultant, we are involved in what report changes. Whatever the necessary code changes are there, we are going to do the changes so that we can leverage the features of what HANA database.
But they can use same as it is, right? There is no, even though even though the program not getting any changes, they can use as it is, right?
Yeah, but we can use it as it is. But again, there is no point in going to HANA database, right? I'm not saying that
Right.
I cannot use the existing report. Yes, we can use, but the purpose of moving to HANA database was to improve the performance. So how do you improve the performance? Definitely, you need to write the business logic in such a way that that code gets executed in the HANA database. So that is then only we can leverage the HANA advantage.
Okay. So if there is no changes, so even though
Mhm.
the performance get improved,
Slightly, not much, not much.
okay.
Understood. So if you want to increase the
Yeah.
performance drastically, obviously I need to do the code changes also.
But the program is running on memory, right? In memory, right? So which means it is already in the database only. So it might
Right,
be
right.
there is a performance improvement.
Slight improvement will be there, slight improvement, but not the complete improvement. Understood? Yes, what you said is fine. It is directly running in the in-memory database, but you have
Okay.
written some code which will be executed only in the application server, not in the HANA database. Am I clear? So compulsory, as per my knowledge, we'll be doing the code changes also.
Okay. So it is required. It is mandated to
Yeah.
change, make a changes.
Yes. 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 Then only we can leverage the full benefits of HANA database.
Why I'm asking, many
Mhm.
ABAP consultants also they are working
Uh-huh.
on HANA migration projects.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, but
Hmm. Hmm.
they don't know native SQL, but even though they don't know CDS views, whatever.
Mhm.
But even though they
Correct.
are working on the migration projects, that's what I'm asking.
Correct. Correct. But again, no, we are not full-fledged leveraging the benefits. Okay, so we
Okay,
can do the
yes,
code changes only if you're aware of what these things. See, customer doesn't know about these CDS views, AMDBs, all those things. It is the team who has to convince the customer. Okay, what you are telling is you are just migrating the data to another database. Yes, it might have improved the performance, but you try to do the code changes also, and then compare this performance analysis with the old code and this code. You will have drastic improvement in the performance.
okay.
Yeah, Nagesh, what is the doubt? One of my customers are not development using GUI. It's more time. No, see, Nagesh, simply what? Making use of HANA database will not improve the performance. I need to make sure of what necessary code changes you have to do. That's what I'm trying to say here. What you are saying is you are trying to run a report which is making use of what HANA database, but still just saying more time means you are not written the code efficiently. Understood. I can write the same logic in 100 different ways. So the developer has to decide which is the best code which will improve the performance. So at that time, I'll decide to create what? CDS views, or I'll decide to create the AMDPs, or I'll try to create the stored procedures, and then I'll try to consume it from the ABAP report. Am I clear? So since you are not doing those things, it is not improve the performance. Simply making use of HANA database will not improve the performance. Remember, it might increase slightly, but the purpose of this HANA database is to ensure that logic gets executed in what? HANA database. That is ensured by implementing what? CDS views, AMDPs, stored procedures. You have to create everything at the database level. Just you have to consume it from the Abap layer. Then only the performance will be improved. Okay. So next class, what we'll do is that is on Monday. We'll start with the native HANA development. Most probably, yeah, I'll be starting with what? Native HANA development. So we'll start the introduction of HANA Studio. We'll see the different perspective and we'll start creating the database objects. Once this database is ready, we'll try to consume it from what? Abap layer. So next class will be again on Monday.
Sridhar, one more doubt. So,
Yeah, Rambam. Mhm.
are you going to cover SQL script also?
Yeah, obviously, na. It will come as part of this only. Here I mentioned, you can see
Yeah, yeah. I
SQL
heard
script.
this
Yes.
SQL.
Yeah.
Script is important too. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. Without that, we cannot.
Okay. Okay.
So whatever is there in
Okay.
the syllabus, everything will be seen practically. Yeah, Rambam, tell me. Rambam or Sharon? Hmm.
Yeah, Sridhar. Are we covering reporting as well
Yes,
in this course?
see, reporting in the sense, what do you mean by report? Report responsibility is what? To display the data. Okay, to display the data.
Okay.
So we are going to create what? This AMDP, CDS views, all those things. We need to start consuming it from the report. So I might be writing the classical reports. I'll be developing the ALV reports. I'll be developing the interactive reporting. Yes, it is part of the course. We'll be covering that.
Okay.
Any other doubts, others?
Sridhar, one more doubt. So you mentioned like when we are migrating from non-HANA DB to HANA DB, right? So we'll be using like inline declarations, those things which supports HANA DB. So apart
Yep.
from that, like any other changes we need to do in the report level to improve the
Yeah.
performance, or only that syntax that this
Yeah.
SQL queries should be changed?
Yeah. In this case, what I did is I wrote the select statement, which is making use of what inline declaration. Okay. So, and in as part of that select statement, we are hitting the database table now VBAP now. So it's not that compulsory. I'll be using only the tables. We are going to create something called as CDS views. Okay. We are going to use the CDS views also in the select query. So we'll be seeing how to develop the CDS views in the HANA Studio and how to consume that CDS views in the Abap reports using what? This particular OpenSQL. So not only inline declaration, we'll be using what? CDS views also as part of select queries. That is what your doubt, or you're asking something else?
Yeah, right. Apart from this, for example, there are some enhancements also, right? So the enhancements also will be doing the same thing, what we do in
Same thing,
report.
yeah, obviously, yes.
Okay.
Done. So I'll wind up then. We'll continue on Monday. I believe I've shared the material and recording with everyone. I'll do the same thing today also. Okay, next session will be again on Monday, same time, around same time, 6 o'clock. Okay, chalo then. So I'm winding off. We'll
Yeah.
meet on again on Monday.
Sridhar, one last thing. Will you be able to share those vendor details? Like we can
Yeah, yeah.
talk with them.
By today evening, I'll share it to everyone. I'll drop a mail to everyone. Okay,
Okay.
so you can just contact them either through email or through what directly call them. You refer my name. If they ask, did you came through any references? You say yes and refer my name, Sridhar at Gen Soft. You say. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.